I guess. Howdy. We're live.
We're live.
Kicking.
We're live.
Wise old bastards back again.
We're back.
We're
like
back.
a bad case of the crabs. Keep coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we, well, good start here today. Still recovering from Mexico, from Puerto Vallarta. You're back in good old Canada.
Vancouver area, yeah.
Vancouver, and I'm floating around in not Mexico.
You're back in Mexico,
Malaysia.
you lucky fuck. Oh, yeah.
I switched back. I'm back in Malaysia. So I'm here. I've been here a couple days, or maybe a week now, and just settling in, trying to get over jet lag, and heading on up to Laos in another week. So and you understand a lot of changes are going on politically and problems and economically, all kinds of stuff.
No problem.
Ooh, you get
We
that
got it
beer
fixed.
now. All right. Okay. Well, it's morning time here. I'm still on orange juice, so it kind of sucks, but healthy. Be drinking more later today. Chinese New Year. Gong Si Fa Chai coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. All kinds of festivals. We talk about it all the time, and I sound like a broken record, but I make the same complaint. It's Chinese New Year coming up, Lunar New Year. We go down to the Chinatown. I guess you'd call it Chinatown, but it's like a city. It's like there's 600,000 Chinese in this place, so it's like not a Chinatown. It's like it's a whole fucking
Chinese?
city. And it's you got a couple lanterns here and there inside the restaurants, a few things hanging down, but it's not decorated. It's not the whole spirit is not the same as in Asia.
Yeah, no, that's funny.
I always complain about Christmas is not the same as out in Asia. But
you guys just don't celebrate enough up there in Canada. What happened?
I just want to. I want to get back to a place where you celebrate everything all the fucking time. Like Malaysia, they celebrate like 9.
Pretty good.
As a business owner, sometimes you get pissed because it's out of 365 days, there's like 492 days off every year because of all the festivals. When you learn to go with the flow, it's like there's always something interesting going on. Always something.
Yeah. Whether it's Chinese New Year or some New Year's or Indian festivals, religious festivals, or harvest festivals. Which is weird.
Like here,
it's just festivals.
We have so many cultures here. We must have 150 different cultures. And how come nobody is really like going out of the way to fucking celebrate it like crazy? Should be right up and down the streets doing parades, decorate your car, blast your music out the window when it's your holiday time, man. Come on, get with it.
Maybe there's no money up there.
That's what I'm going to do here in the record shop, man. I got like a little stage area over there. You guys can't see, but over there. Yeah. So what I'll start doing is every fucking holiday, I'll just have that culture's holiday theme going on.
There you go.
There you go. I got one of my regular customers is an Elvis impersonator who also does Johnny Cash, and he does a couple other things now. So I'll just say, hey, it's Diwali, man. Do me some Bollywood shit. He'll do it.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was last night or 2 nights ago, we went to Whip. Whip across the street in Bangsar Shopping. And they had what would you call it? 2 people playing in a band. One guy had like a Chinese guitar. It looked like a banjo, but it's Chinese based. And the other lady was on keyboard. So I walked in there and started playing some nice Chinese music, the Chinese lanterns, everything. It's all right. Next thing you hear is Taylor Swift or some shit. It's like, don't play Taylor Swift on a Chinese mandolin or something. It's like, no, it doesn't work. So, so you never know. Even in Asia, they end up swifting.
Well, I was actually, we'll segue a little bit into, we're going to go back and talk about Puerto Vallarta because when we were down there, fortunately, we had way too much to drink and we forgot to do enough podcasts. We did a little something, but we kind of forgot to push the right buttons on it too. And it was like, I don't know, man. And we didn't talk about everything. But I think we'll talk more about what we did in Puerto Vallarta, the beer hunter stuff and everything. I want to talk a little bit about the real estate. One of the reasons I was down there was looking at real estate. I got my condo under construction. And we'll segue into another kind of real estate discussion, general discussion. We've talked before about how you can get better deals in a lot of countries than you can in North America. but we'll talk a little bit about that again, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about. I don't like to talk politics, so we'll talk about how real estate affects politics, like how housing costs and the perceived problems with getting a house can cause people to be unhappy with the government wherever they are because it's housing costs and stuff like that. But first we'll start talking about dead beer shacks.
Ooh, dead
wasn't
beer.
That where was it?
It was Los Muertos or something like that. It was
Los Muertos something. We're gonna have to. We should have looked it up. Yeah, Cantina maybe.
Minor details.
We went to this place. It was pretty good. Come on, go there next time you're in town.
Los Muertos. Yeah, it was actually a brewery, and they had like 2 stores or 2 places in Puerto Vallarta, and they had what about 15 beers, something like that they were making. And then we did a flight and had some pizza. Had a slice of pizza because they were known for it. Don't normally eat pizza in Mexico, but not bad. And then some other, I don't know what else we had. Some food. There was chicken wings or something. It was supposed to be really good.
Yeah, it was very more Tex-Mex than Mex.
Yeah,
more Tex than Mex, right?
Yeah,
it was definitely an expat or tourist. I mean, I think more expat than tourist. Really,
Yeah.
A couple blocks up from the beach, and it was full of Matzales, Guaylos, gringos, full of gringos.
Gringos, right?
True, which is, again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's that would not be a typical beer hunter's destination. We wouldn't be looking for something like that. But when we're not on camera, we'd be hanging out in a place like that. No problem.
Exactly. That's where we hang out.
We got no issue with that. Nothing at all.
That's what we are. We're expats. That was our life, hanging out at the pubs and having some food and stuff. And I mean, that's part of living. And when you're abroad, okay, you don't just do the tour stuff. You kind of live how you expect to live, partially Western, partially local. And that place was good.
Local, gringo loco. That was another one of the places. Loco,
yeah, it's the other place we went. That was good. That was nice.
That was okay because they're good cheap beer, but they were not tricky, I guess. But I think how they paid their rent is on the cocktails. We were with somebody who had a couple of cocktails, and those 2 or 3 cocktails cost more than the 80 beers we had. So,
yeah, that's true. But the tequila came out of a little barrel, and it was cheap as shit, and it was okay, not too bad.
That's true.
I think so.
That's true.
But Los Muertos, good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's.
We had what? Some Oscuro, some dark beers, some a little bit. I mean, it was a craft beer place, so we had a few.
The chili beer.
Chili beer, that's it. Chili beer. Put chili in beer. Interesting. Not bad. It was quite good. I like that one.
Yeah, but it felt like it was toned down, like too much, maybe. So you could taste it, but it wasn't like a kick you in the face chili, which is probably what they're going for. But I was kind of. So all of the beers there, we gave them all like the 3/4 thumbs up, right?
3/4,
they were all just perfectly fine beers. No, nothing to go, nothing you spit out. But nothing really grabbed us as like, whoa, that's like, we got to remember that and come back specifically for that one beer. So, but that's not saying something about these guys. It's, if we said this to every beer that we ever drank, it means nothing, right? So we have pretty high bar to get like a holy shit. Right? Like I think the only holy shit beer we've had since we started this is that one at the Copper Brothel. Yeah. Right? Remember in southern Arizona there somewhere where it was the
Michelada beer. Michelada.
Yeah, we've talked about this one before. It was like, you know how you make a michelada, right? You take clamato or tomato or whatever, mix with your beer and some spices or whatever. A lot of things you can do to make it your own. But these guys, they brewed it. It came out, looked just like like a lager or a pilsner or something. And you're like, okay. So it said Michelada on the menu. You guys, it's like you forgot to give me the other stuff.
The tomato.
While I'm waiting for you to bring me the fucking tomato juice. I'm thirsty. I'm going to drink. Yeah. What the fuck? It tasted like not just like a Michelada. It was like a good one. Michelada.
A good one. An excellent one. Yeah. It had that spicy kick and had everything. That was, That would have been
So
double
that's what we're
thumbs up, that
talking
one.
about. That's what we're talking about. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about if like a half a year later. So, it means it meant
There we
something.
go. It's memorable. Yeah. So it means we
But
have to go
Puerto
back
Vallarta
again.
has got it's a really nice mix. It's a real Mexican city, which not all tourist beach destinations are.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to Cancun, or you go to Cabo. It's the beach resorts, and outside of that, there's less local life, right?
Yeah, of course.
So this one, there's a huge population of expats there,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's beyond. So you got the tourism, which is huge. You got
Yeah.
all these expats, which is a huge number, and then you still have like hundreds of thousands of actual Mexicans living an actual Mexican life, working in Mexican places. Not everybody is working
Yeah.
at a hotel, right?
Right.
So you get
For
all
sure.
that mix, and it's great. So you go up to anywhere along the Melicon, the boardwalk, and you go across. You just pop up a couple of blocks away from the ocean. It only goes a couple blocks before you hit the mountains anyway. You can't go too far. But there are dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of little interesting little bars. You can spend so much time pub crawling and just until you find your top 25 favorites that you hit every day.
It's it every day.
You hit every day. So there are
but
tons of them, and there's some of them are
but
like Los Muertos, which are kind of big,
yeah.
professional,
Mm.
almost feel like a franchise, although it's not. It's like two places, but it's like
Mm.
bigger scale, like a Fridays or Chili's kind of size
Mm-hmm.
and vibe to them, right? All the way down to, we did a lot of drinking beer out of. I was going to call them tiendas,
Tiendas, yeah.
tiendas,
Kind of
little
little
shops, right?
stores, little shops.
So
Yeah.
we would we've got some footage where it's busy times, things going on here, so we haven't put up a lot of the footage, but we went down dozens of like back alleys and up staircases,
No.
and we were trying to get off the beaten path within
Mm-hmm.
a beaten city. I mean, it's the beaten path is everywhere there, so
Yeah.
getting
It's
off the
very
beaten
touristic.
path. So
Yeah.
we tried hard. We went back alleys and staircases and shit. We didn't find as
Found a
many
few things.
little cantina kind of places as we
No.
would hope, but we did do a lot of interesting drinking. Walk into a little convenience store that's some old Mexican mama's sitting in a place is about 30 square feet, and half of that is a freezer full of Corona. The rest is, and that's obviously
Yes.
is not for the tourists. So
Yeah. Typically, they're more kind of places you can drink with tacos and that kind of stuff, or little foods and stuff. So, and tacos are pretty much probably 80% of the diet over there. It seems like you put everything on taco. And so there's a lot of cool places to eat, and of course those places you can have beer too. I mean, it's not just pure cantinas, but usually a mix. But it's good, and like you said, there's a lot of expats there. There's a lot of people, tourists and expats, that move down into that. And some of these guys buy houses. Like you bought one. Okay, it's not something you can live in yet. It's still a bit dirt and metal and stuff. It
if you
hasn't
don't
been
mind the
finished out.
construction workers and the cranes and shit, it's okay. Right?
Yeah. And then we looked at one right around the corner from your place. I still found that interesting when we called them up. And it was this little house, but it needed work. It was about 3,000 square foot lot, or something like that, 3,500 square foot lot. So not a big lot. But the buildup was about 1,200 square feet. So again, not that big. So I thought, and you can see some really potential between the lot and just lifting it up, and you have a beautiful view of the ocean and stuff. So it's something that you could put some money into and create an amazing place out of it. So we checked it out. Okay. So we expected, it's a fixer-upper kind of thing. It's probably okay inside, but it still needs work to make it really amazing. But the price was what they were asking was also amazing. So sometimes it shocked me. I was expecting something about 3 million pesos or 4 million pesos, which is about 150 to 200,000 US, something like that. But they wanted like over double that. They wanted more like 400,000 or 500,000, 600,000 for that, and it just nope, it wasn't worth it. They
Yeah,
were
so
just trying to
this
gouge it.
place it's like 2 or 3 blocks up from the ocean, from the Melicon, the busy area, beautiful
Yeah.
view, blah blah blah. I mean, if it was not in Mexico, we would have thought, well, that's a really good deal.
Hmm.
It's just because it's in that tourist and an expat
Yeah.
area. Yeah. So there are still some decent houses in a 150, 200,000 range. There's townhouses, link houses, whatever you call them, wherever you live. So there are still not bad deals there, but Puerto Vallarta is the third most expensive real estate city in all of Latin America. It's really way up there. And yet,
Okay.
when you look at the prices compared to a lot of other, compared to like in the Vancouver area, it's like, wow, it's so cheap compared to here. It's not cheap anymore, but it's compared to here. And then they're so expensive compared to go 2 hours out of town there. And it drops off like, well, to nothing. You can get you go up the mountain, up the hill, 2 hour drive out of town, and it's like here's the land and some money. That's it's so cheap.
Yeah.
So it's different. Right? Like here in the Vancouver area, you'd have you drive 4 or 5 hours to get away from the conurbation, from the city extended out, and even there it would cost more than in Puerto Vallarta for something small in the middle of nowhere. So I'm happy that I booked this pre-construction already like 2 years ago. It's coming. It's coming. It's working its way through. So we got it for a pretty good deal. But I was just looking at real estate prices again here because I live in the edge of Vancouver. I'm in a nice house. It's like 4,000 square feet, 3 floors, blah blah blah. In a not a gated community, but in a complex, whatever you want to call it, right? And some things are changing, so it looks like we're going to probably be selling that house and moving. And we're just looking. So right now we got to kind of sort it out. And so we got some adult kids, and we got a deal. They got an apartment upstairs now, so we've got downstairs, and we're kind of in the middle floor. It was just because no one had money to put down payments a couple of years ago here, so we put all the down payments in. So it was a great situation. But now things are changing. So everyone's wants to move out. So, okay, my wife and I are saying, all right, fair enough. Right, okay, we got to sell the place. We take our equity back, and we'll go get a little something to hang out here because we're at that stage in life now where we just want to travel anyway, right? It's like, yeah, don't want to work anymore. Just want to fuck around, right? Sometime at home, sometime on the road. but it's just like that, right? So we're looking around. It's like, oh my fucking God. Oh my God. So to put this into perspective, so it's not you don't see it very often in Canada. You see it more often in Asia and probably in Europe, a lot of places where you have like retail and restaurants and stuff downstairs, and then a few floors, 2-3 floors above with condo apartments, right? So we're in an area where we don't have very many of the big towers. It's weird out here, man. Those towers, the 30-story towers, they are so eye-wateringly expensive. It's nuts. It's nuts. I mean, in Canadian dollar, say in American dollar terms, for like a 700 square foot, 1 bed, 1 bath, in one of those condo tower things, with maybe like a side view of the ocean, so you can kind of the ocean's over there, but it's not like in your face, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
$1 million, million US, right?
What?
And it's like
Holy fucking shit.
like, what is that? So forget that shit. So we're looking at there's one that they got some restaurants and stores and stuff downstairs, supermarket, blah blah blah, 4-story wooden structure, and it's kind of condos on top of a shopping complex, but they're nicely done, kind of nice, right? But when you're used to that many square feet that we have, I walk in there and we found a place that also it's like 600 and something square feet.
That's
nicely
tiny.
Designed. It's nice. It's like a big hotel room, right?
Yeah.
It's bigger than that. It's got a bedroom, a bath, a den. It's designed for a small space. So they've done a pretty decent job. It doesn't feel that tiny unless you're coming in from a big place. But even that, we're talking like, oh, there you go. It's like $500,000 US. It's like,
Wow.
So we're going to take all of our equity to this other house and go buy this little fucking thing here.
Yeah.
So it reminded me. I mean, I lived most of my life overseas, right? Malaysia, Asia, all over the place. So I made the huge fucking mistake, right? Huge fucking mistake. So first off, I don't know where you're watching this from, but we're in early 2025, and right now between Canada and the States has gotten very weird recently.
Yeah.
So I was joking to Kevin just before we started. It's like, okay, I got this situation happening here. I got to sell my house. It's like, fuck it, I'm gonna move. I like Mexico. States is pissing on Canada right now. Okay, fuck it, I'm moving to Mexico. Ah, shit. Oh no, they're pissing on Mexico too. So, oh well, okay, let me see. Now my brother is right now scouting further south. He wants to buy a place up in the mountains in Panama. So I said, okay, I'll go to Panama. Ah, shit, no, I can't. States are pissing on Panama. Okay, fuck it, I get tired of this shit, man. Just forget it. I can't have Canada, can't have Mexico, can't have Panama. Fuck it. I'm gonna go somewhere where no one's ever gonna bother me. I'm going to fucking Greenland. No, can't do fucking Greenland. So, fuck it. Okay, fuck it. I'm going to Colombia. So, fuck, man. So I'm looking. Okay, where can I go? Okay, I know Malaysia because I used to live there for a long time. So I made the huge mistake of looking at what's available in Malaysia right now for like $500,000 US. Oh, yeah, so nice. So nice. You can get this like 2,000 square feet, fully furnished with designer furniture, floor to ceiling windows, looking at the Twin Towers. You're on top. You're in a building that has the subway in the basement. It's got the shopping mall right in it. It's like fucking beautiful marble. It's got like swimming pools. It's like, Yeah. And then I look at my little brochure from this place that we're going to end up buying. It's like, huh? In Malaysia,
sure.
If you stuck your maid in a little place like that, they'd get you for abuse. It's like, fuck.
So, your apartment sounds like the maid's bedroom and bathroom.
Yeah, so I shouldn't have
done
done
has their own bedroom and bathroom here. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I shouldn't have looked. I should have just shut up and just fucking pulled the trigger on something. But anyway. So I guess the good news for me is all the traveling I want to do is definitely going to fucking happen as soon as we make that move, because I haven't lived in a place that small since I was like
college, dormitory.
No, I'm thinking like when I was first traveling, when I was staying in like hostels and dormitories. That's not the same. I mean, I'm not sure I've ever lived in a place that small. Anyway,
well,
I'm going to try it out. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, shrinkflation, that is true. I mean, everything is getting smaller. But, okay, I mean, Asia in general, Malaysia is actually very, very good. Quite cost, what do we call it? Cost relevant to what you can buy. It is quite reasonable compared to other countries. Even Jakarta and stuff, much, much more expensive than Kuala Lumpur. Of course, Singapore is higher. Other places that are cheaper, of course, is Cambodia, Laos, all those kind of stuff. Vietnam is pricey now.
Vietnam went up. Depends where you go, for sure.
Yeah, China also. Shoot, if you go to like Shenzhen or any of these places, the prices of housing just skyrocketed. I mean, it was just it's worse. It's worse in New York City sometimes. Japan.
I know. I was actually looking at Sanya, which is on Hainan Island in the southern China, right? So it's basically the same as Hong Kong, latitude wise. So the climate, everything's about like Hong Kong. But when I first went there in the mid '80s or something, it was truly just a couple of fishing villages and some coconut plantations, and it was like nothing going on. Now it's just it's stunning. The buildings are just over the top. And my wife is from Taiwan. Sometimes, I mean, right now, still Taiwan, you can buy property in China, but those rules change about every 15 minutes. How mad they are at Taiwan this week. Can you still have property? Can you keep it? Did they just take it away from you? Blah, 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 blah. So we're thinking we'll probably just wait another year or something until China takes Taiwan, fucks it, blows it up or something. Then all the Taiwanese will be Chinese, and then we can go buy a house in Sanya. But in somewhere like that, it's also there. It's interesting. the prices are like cheaper than Mexico for places that are okay. And I'm never going to be allowed back in China when I say this now, but China, all the Chinese spies stop listening for just a sec. Okay. So they make the most gorgeous fucking buildings. Like
Yeah.
if you haven't been or at least looked online to see what China's like now, if you just your picture of China is okay, yeah, it's growing really fast, but you're not thinking Mao's China, but you're just thinking it's got some nice cities. You've got to look at what they make. It's fucking stupid, over the top. The buildings, the facilities, you'll have like a 4-acre fucking swimming pool. You'll have like a gym with like
Wow.
300 fucking exercise bikes, and just over the top, beautiful lobbies. Everything's just gorgeous, but the quality level, price is great in outside of the major cities. The prices can be and now that their property market has fucking crashed. I mean, it's a disaster pulling the whole economy down. But outside of somewhere like Sanya, you get a place for like $250,000 US. You get a place that most people in Canada or the States would not have dreamed that they would have a house like that and a place like that with a view like that with facilities like that. It just wouldn't have occurred to you you'd have that. It's like that's the guys who have the drivers in the town car pull up front. That's their kind of house. You wouldn't expect you get that. You get that there. But the quality is always suspect. Quality and maintenance is always suspect. So it looks fantastic and beautiful. And you walk in and you look, okay, well the big square marble tiles they have in the wall, they're only like a 1/16 of an inch thick, and look at that, 2 of them fell off.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit. Oh, okay. Well, somebody put that back up then. So I mean, okay, China, you can start listening again. So it's beautiful. They got great buildings there, and everyone should go try buying China.
Except for maintenance. Just bring your own maintenance guy.
bring your own tube of glue, and you'll be fine.
But yeah, I mean, when we're around and we look at stuff here, the expat communities have grown because people are moving outside. There's always like an influx of people from retirees, people that have money, but don't have money in the country they're living, right? In Vancouver, if you're on a retirement fee, you can't afford much. Same in America. I mean, Social Security and all that stuff, they don't pay much. I mean, okay, if you bought everything 30 years ago, you own your place, fine. But then the taxes go up so high because property taxes, we talked about that one, right? So you bought your place for $50,000. Now it's worth $7 million, and you're paying like $2 million a year.
You're paying $50,000 a year property taxes.
Property tax, yeah, exactly. So, and then they can't afford that because Social Security gives you $1,200. You know. Meanwhile, they used to give the foreign
so
guys
you may not be living you might not be living in a penthouse, but you could, in somewhere like Kuala Lumpur, you could find a nice place in a building that's got a pool and a little gym, and maybe not going to be your 5-star place, but you could certainly, for that kind of money, you could rent something.
Yeah.
Away
Philippines is another place that's quite okay. I think the cost of living there is quite decent. You can get properties and stuff there. It's not bad.
Here's my problem again, right? English. So I'm thinking all this. I'm getting kicked out of the whole fucking world. So we think we're going to go to Taiwan because my wife's from Taiwan. I like Taiwan. I'd be happy to be back in Taiwan. China's going to fucking blow it up, so I can't go to fucking Taiwan. It's like the world's out to get me. What the fuck did I do to this world, man?
I don't know.
I can't fucking.
But it's true. The world is a bit in turmoil, and we'll see what happens with America and Trump coming in. Of course, there's new leadership. And that's shaking up the whole damn world. Let's see what settles down in a bit. So hopefully, after 6 months, we'll see what happens. Right now it's quite turmoil, and we don't know. We really don't know. It's hard to plan anything, but I mean, we're just kicking back here, working and stuff, and I understand economy not so good in Canada at the moment too, right?
Yeah, it's that uncertainty. So companies are not only are they not hiring, they're being prudent. Like if you're a business owner or manager, it's your responsibility to keep the business alive. So there are layoffs all over the place, tons of them. They're like, well, our main market. So although we're USA's biggest customer,
Yeah.
USA is our biggest customer. And
Yeah.
so if our biggest customer is unhappy with us and they stop buying or even reduce buying, I mean, in business, if your business drops like 15 or 20%, that's already a disaster. Never mind down to zero, just,
Yeah.
So people are laying off now so that their business can survive, right? So if they expect if sales are going to be lower and costs are going to be higher, well, sorry, Johnny, you got to go. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So there's a lot of that going on, and that has the ripple effect, obviously. Now Johnny doesn't have the money to go to the restaurant, to go to the bars, to do whatever, because Johnny's like, oh, fuck, man, I got to pay my rent and everything still. I might get unemployment insurance, but that's going to be, I don't know what that is, 19 weeks or 20 weeks or something. You get like 50 or 60% of what you were paid for a certain number of weeks or something, right? So if you're already living at the edge, so we were also talking about this just before the show, that we try not to talk about politics because it can get heated very fast, but the way that real estate intersects with politics, right? So in Canada, you may know that we've just basically run our prime minister out of the country, tarred and feathered the guy, right?
Yeah.
And when you look back, the reason behind that, the main reason behind that, boils down to housing costs. Everybody is feeling the stress of money. And when you look at everything, yeah, there's inflation. Yeah, COVID fucked up the planet. Yes, all these things. But what is broken in Canada and many places around the world is the real estate costs. So I remember growing up, they always said, hey, about a third of your salary should go to your rent or your mortgage.
Correct. At 30%.
So it's kind of a rough thing, right? Now, I mean,
60?
Yeah, 60 or 70%.
Wow.
And then on top of that, you need transportation, whether it's a car or public transit, whatever. You still need to spend money to get to wherever you're going to work, and you got to. Some people like to eat. It's like
Really.
So yeah, it's true.
But
so it's so that's like, and then that there's those knock-on effects. Like I was talking about how Puerto Vallarta is a real Mexican city, right? So it has a big population of Mexicans living a Mexican life. And I think that's important because a lot of places around the world. So, okay, Vancouver's gotten so expensive. I have the option. I can say, fuck this. I'm going to Lisbon. I'm going to Madrid. I'm going to Bangkok. I'm going to Puerto Vallarta. I go wherever the fuck I want to go, right? So a lot of people do that. And when we come in with, even if we don't have a lot of money, we have more money than most of the places we're going to, right? Because we're going to a cheaper place. So
yeah, of course.
You come in and you drive up the costs, right? Puerto Vallarta now is the third most expensive real estate in all of Latin America.
Yeah.
Think about that. How many big cities are there in Latin America? And that's the third most expensive. So, I mean, that's a thing. But luckily, it's still big enough that there's still, like I said, it's more expensive than the rest of Mexico. 100, 150,000, you can get a little place kind of at the edge of town. But there are more employment opportunities. So for the moment, it seems to be working. It's not squeezed Mexicans out of Mexico, that's the danger, right? Yeah, so it's expensive, but it's kind of, But there's so many places where, like in Europe, they're changing their visa regulations as we speak, because so many Americans and Canadians were going across. Oh, fuck it, I'm going to go retire in Portugal, and they were trying to attract people because it wasn't really booming, right? Nothing was booming about. It was doing okay, but it wasn't booming. So they're trying to attract people, make these new visas. All of a sudden, holy fuck, man! Everyone came in there, and the real estate prices went nuts, and the locals can't find a fucking house. Blah blah. So they're stop, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, the real estate costs that go crazy here have that butterfly wing effect ripple across everywhere, right?
True.
So you go to smaller towns in Canada, places where it was $50,000 to buy a house is now $275,000. It's like, what?
Saskatchewan, come, we got plenty of room. Just build your house. Get your dog sled.
Get your dog
You
sled.
got to feed the dogs.
Yeah.
But no, it's really if it's like anything, right? If you have a place that's developed into a very nice area, such as Vancouver, or sometimes they develop a nice place and become very famous, but then turn into shitholes too, like New York or San Francisco. I mean, these places, the cost of housing has skyrocketed, right? But same thing, Hong Kong. Hong Kong, the prices of property, that's all you can get is like that little 500, 600 square foot. And they are like $1 million or $2 million, even over there.
Even
And
though it's
but
come down, it's dropped a lot, and it's still
yeah, it's
insane.
still extremely, yeah. And Japan, same. If you're in Japan, Tokyo, or some of the cities, uh, astronomical prices. You go way out into Hokkaido, and there's some places in the rural areas, and then all of a sudden prices like, because it is location, 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 and you're in a good location, the prices are much, much higher. So you have to go out to another location. But do you want to live in that other location? Do you want to live? You're moving from the place you want to live into a place you can afford.
Yeah, so I mean,
I think it
it's
has something like
we
that.
kind of talk about this sometime about you have to decide who you are, what you want to do,
Yeah.
what makes sense for you. But I mean, when you think about it, like my wife really loves Vancouver, so we're
Mm.
stuck is the wrong word. It's a beautiful place. There's so many good things about
Yeah.
it. Okay, what am I'm not dissing the place. It's just I just wish it didn't cost as much, or I wish I had more
Yeah, of
money.
course.
Either way, same, right? But so we're going to buy something here. But if it was up to me, I would say, we're talking about traveling a lot more now. So
Yeah.
okay, one big thing for us here is still it's the pension, yes, and the healthcare, right? So we have to be in Canada. I believe it's 6 months out of the year we have to have our feet on the ground here to qualify for our free healthcare. That's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
important. That's a big chunk of money. If you want to get that level of healthcare insurance, it's pretty expensive because it's it covers
Mm.
everything. But otherwise, I would say okay, maybe we don't go back to Malaysia because I don't like to go backwards. Like there's a whole world
Mm.
lots of places we haven't lived in or haven't been to, or lived
Yeah.
in especially. But I mean, like your thing about Japan is a perfect example. So you
Mm.
could actually, I guarantee you this, you could find something that on a bullet train from Tokyo, like less than 2 hours to get
Mm.
to somewhere, that you get off at that station and you take a local little rickety train, another 20
Mm.
minutes or 30 minutes, and you're in some gorgeous little village in amongst the bamboo and the hillside, and it's just like
Yeah.
medieval Japan. You can imagine samurai
Mm.
and geishas walking around. And because it's being abandoned by the young people going to the big city, which
Right.
happens all around the world,
Right.
you could get for almost nothing for 50 grand, you get yourself a really nice place with a garden and a pond and the whole fucking
Yeah.
thing, and just live like an amazing life in a little town that's got 2 or 3 restaurants that are still alive because the old folk are still
Mm.
running it,
Yeah.
and cheap as fuck. And then you're traveling. So you just got to be somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So you want to be in a 600 square foot box on top of a grocery store in Vancouver, or do you want to be there in in the bamboo, or do you want to be on the side of a volcano in Philippines, or do you want to be looking at the Twin Towers in Kuala Lumpur? Do you want to be, 2 hours outside Madrid? Do you want to be in
Mm.
southern France? There are areas, if you go away from the famous areas in France and go an hour in from the coast, it's cheap. It's just like as
Yeah.
cheap as Kentucky.
Wow.
Italy, fuck, there's so many places where you got those the €1 houses. You just have to come in and fix them up, right? All those
Yeah.
villages.
Was
So you
that
don't
in
buy a
Italy?
€1 one. That'd be a fucking disaster headache. But go buy a 50 or 60 or 100,000 euro
€50?
place that's ready. Yeah, good. Pay 50 times more. Wow, look what I got. No, but I mean, for in those kind of places where you can buy the €1,
Yeah.
right? You have to commit to
You have to,
investing a certain amount, right?
yeah.
To
You
fix
have to
it.
invest about 100,000 or something.
Yeah, and you have to
But
commit
still,
to it to get the deal. But
yeah.
in those same places, there are the 100,000 euro places ready to go,
Mm.
and it's got all the same charm that it's the same place, right? Medieval
Mm.
villages up in the mountains. So to the whole fucking world, if you're willing to make not a break with the past, that maybe sounds a little strong, but
Mm.
if you're willing to change your
Change.
circumstances,
Yeah.
yeah,
Change your life. experience something else. I mean, the
Yeah.
difference is we're old bastards now, right? When we were young, I was in Peace Corps, right? When I was 20 something, 20 years old out of college. So I went to Guatemala and I was in there. I was in that stuff. I was in the little villages, with the cobblestones and shit running down the middle of the street and little houses and stuff. And we rented those. We rented a bigger house in Chichi Castanango, I remember, but it was nothing. And well, again, that's the other thing is, do you want to buy a house or do you just want to find some place that you kind of like and have a couple year rentals, and you could do it that way without actually physically buying if you have a really good cheap rental place that you like.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. You don't always have to physically purchase the house. You would think purchasing a house is going to give you equity and give you future asset values and you can sell it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but screw that.
But
When you're in your 60s, what's that for? It's for your kids. It's not for you anymore. What are you going to build equity for? When you're 108, you don't know what the fuck's going on anyway.
Exactly. So that's the other option, is to look at where would you like to live that you could have a good rental, place with pubs, place with good restaurants, inexpensive, not too hard to travel to or out of, in and out of, fairly safe. You don't want to go in a war zone, Italy is a great place, man. Look at the wine they have there. Beer's like, not too bad. Food, amazing. People, pretty great, So you might have
that's
the mafia.
basically
minor details. To Sicily.
So just don't piss them off. I mean, so I mean that's basically for us, for me and my wife right now. That's kind of where that's where it's heading to that. So we're gonna have the little place here, which okay, I'll live with it, because anyway, in the daytime I come to my store. You can't see it, but I got space. Hello, I got space in the store, right? It's fine. And the boss lets me drink in the store.
Yeah, that's good. I thought you couldn't drink before. The last episode you were teetotaling. You were stuck. You weren't so happy.
Oh no, yeah, I didn't have any beers. I was driving home.
Exactly, there was no beer there.
Now I realize, hey, you know what? By the time this is posted, I've already been home for 3 months. So if the police see this, come get me!
Oh,
one beer.
Question:
One beer.
Who's not sponsoring us today?
Hawker's 4 again. I keep going back to this mainly just because it's such a good beer, such a good price.
What the hell kind of picture is that on the thing? Is it like an angel, or what the hell is that? Fairy or something?
Ooh, I don't know. I see 3 of them now. I've had a bunch of these. No. Yeah, it looks like it's probably some statue on the top of probably a famous statue in Munich. That's what I would assume.
It's a German
from
beer?
the Munich area. Yeah. It's a lager, but
beer?
they've been building this since 1516, so they finally figured it out this last year at least. It's pretty good now. It took them a while. I don't know how long it's been good, but it's good. And this is what I talked about this on Beer Hunters a little bit too, and previous episodes here, that sometime the cost of a beer, it's the advertising, right? So we get local Canadian beers they're fine, they're okay, but they spend a lot of money on advertising, and they're not the cheapest beer on the shelf. This is a brilliant beer. Like I said, since the 1500s, and it's the German purity laws. We just got to rename that. That just sounds wrong, right? German purity laws, it just brings up the wrong picture.
Purity.
So they shouldn't be talking that way. But it's the
I don't know if Germans
German
are
beer
so pure anymore. Huh?
The German beer law. We'll call it the German beer laws, right?
Okay.
So it's such a good beer. And because it's not advertised here at all or anything, this is I bought it from the store. Obviously, I'm not in a restaurant right now. With tax and everything in, it's about $2 US for a pint size, right?
Yeah,
but it's just so good.
Typical.
I wish these guys would advertise more, because I would love to advertise for them. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Are you listening?
Yeah, we could use another German sponsor. But again, one of the things we're going to do with Beer Hunters, we have to go to Germany. We have to go check out the abbeys that actually started all this back in the less than 1500s. Might have been like 1200s or something like that when they actually started all these breweries. So
some of those Belgian places.
Check that out. Yeah. So that's next coming up.
But back to real estate for a minute. I was looking again at KL, and down the street from you, the Pavilion 2 or something now, that
Yeah,
shopping
yeah.
mall there.
That's expensive, actually. That one per square foot was running about 1,500. Uh, what is it? 1,500 ringgit per square foot, which is what it's a little bit pricey here. My place, I paid about 1,000 ringgit per square foot. So divided by 4, 200 US per square foot. And then, so to me, this place I have is much better, much more value for money here than the Pavilion. And you walk right down; it's like 10-minute walk. I mean, it's not far. And then you get up, you just walk across the street 5 minutes, and you're at Bangsar Shopping Complex. And then, if you
but if
really
I
want,
lived at your place, I don't think I'd live that long, because I'm sure I would get whacked crossing that street. The
yeah,
John
that's true.
Maraf, is it, or whatever the
Yeah,
main one
Jalan
across
Radov.
there?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. But yeah, we went up last night. Just had German food at Plaza Damansara, some German restaurant, and had the good old pork knuckle and stuff. Quite good side, quite good. And some, yeah, there's a lot of varieties here. And that's one thing about when you live in a city like KL. That's quite a lot of expats all over the place. You have a great variety of food. Um, between the Italians, the Chinese, the Germans,
Well, they
you
must be
name it.
trying again now, because Malaysia was kind of early
English.
in when they did they used to call it the golden, silver hair visa. Then they called it
Yeah, yeah,
MM2H.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Malaysia, I don't
I
know,
don't
what does that
know.
stand for?
They messed it up. So as usual.
And then they messed up, yeah,
So
and then it didn't work
yeah,
so well. But now I see, when I was just looking at real estate,
maybe.
they've now got whole buildings and areas and categories that they say foreigners can buy. So
Okay.
it used to be that you had to hit certain, like you had to have a reason, you had to like be in Malaysia, have some kind of visa of some sort to buy.
Yeah.
But now they're advertising that just anybody can buy.
Mm.
I don't know if you
Okay.
can buy and you can go. Can you ever go there and visit?
I got it. It's right there. I can see it on the
I
map.
can see it.
I think it's not too bad.
But what's rental
But
like
yeah,
these days? Like in your building, what's rental like there? If there were any available for rent, what would it cost to rent there? He lives in a
about
place that is kind of like
2,000.
it's like a resort
Like a
hotel ish kind of
yeah,
almost.
yeah. It's quite pretty. I think you get the 3 bedroom, something like this, 2,000 square foot, 3 bedroom, 2.5, 3 bath. Uh, it's about 2,000 US, 2.5 maybe, 2,005 US a month, something like that. Something like that.
So I mean, it's good value for what it is, but it's not cheap.
Not cheap, no. But again, this is the area. You go out to a different area, you can definitely get a better deal.
So
Because we're
I
right
guess
in the
I'm going to fucking Mongolia then.
get
Okay.
out the horses. Learn to ride those horses. Get the tent.
Yeah, get the tent.
Yeah,
No, but
no,
I'm thinking it's
that's too cold.
basically. I'm just thinking it's not even. It's not even like renting to stay 3 years somewhere. I'm thinking like
Yeah.
6 months at a time. 6 months at a time is enough to meet some of the locals, meet some of the local expats, get to know your favorite bars and restaurants, see what's going on in that country, that area. Then it's time to move on. And the ones that you really like, you can keep coming back to.
Mm.
The world, she's small but also big.
Yeah, there's a lot
Oh,
to it.
that's
Yeah,
deep, man.
small and big.
Big and small.
Biggie Small. There's a guy, a singer like that. Biggie Small, right? Yeah, I
Biggie,
mean,
biggie,
the world
biggie, can't you
is.
see? Sometimes you would just hypnotize me. Oh, sorry.
Ooh. No, the world's the same size, actually. I think it's just mankind learned how to get around much faster. So it seems small, but it's still pretty damn big. Um, and it's very the variety is a lot. If you really want to go back into Africa and shit, holy crap! Latin America, very different. The cultural systems, Asia, that the key point is the culture. And now I think this is one thing that I don't like is they're trying Europe and stuff. It's good to have multicultural. That's fine, but at the same time, you have to keep your own culture. You can't just all of a sudden, Europe's turning into Africa or something like that. That's not right either. So Europe has to be Europe. That's why you want to go to Europe. You don't want to go to Europe just to be in Africa. I mean, you want Europe to be Italy, You want to pastas and stuff.
So you're telling them now, for fuck's sake. So now you're telling Italy not to let me in either. For fuck's sake, man.
You're
my
Canadian.
God.
You're kind of neutral.
Oh,
you should go right to
the whole world's shrinking
Switzerland.
for me, man. Where the fuck can I go? So you're saying I can't go to Italy because I'm going to de-Italianize the place? Mamma mia! No. I can't go to Italy.
There you go. Now you can in. I like the wine. Give me some of the pasta. Oh man.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Italy for 2 months.
Italy is good.
Yeah.
But okay. I mean, we are doing a lot of beer hunting, planning on it. So we can center it around beer hunting expeditions, right? We can be beer nomads. Mad beer guys. Nomads of beer. Nomad. I don't want to be mad. Nomad. We're not mad. You drink beer, you're nomad.
Nomad.
You're nomad at anything. You drink beer, right? We're happy. That's right. Happiness. Beer is happiness. I'm always happy with a beer. Do you remember a time you got a nice cold beer and were unhappy?
Yes.
Doesn't Mitch? What?
Just now. I had a nice cold beer.
Empty.
It's empty. I've only got the one because I know me and I'm driving. So I know me. If I had 6 of these, it would be an issue. So I'm going to do a judo flip on this. I was not happy about my small ass little place I got to move into. But you know what? Hey, number one, that small ass place is halfway between my existing house and my store, which was a 45-minute walk that in the summertime, I do it all the time. So it's going to be like a 25-minute walk. I'm going to do it all the goddamn time, which means I'm going to come into the store. I'm going to bring me a 6-pack of these motherfucking beers right here. So at the end of the day, look, gee, about 4 o'clock, bada bing, bada boom, having a hell of a fucking good time. Then I'm going to walk home. I'm going to get some exercise. I'm going to walk it off. It's great. I don't even get fat. It's great.
Yeah.
And because the house is so small, I don't like hanging in a tiny little house. So I'm going to pack up my bags and fuck off to Italy. You want to go to Italy? What am I going to do? I'm going to drink beer. I'm going to drink wine. And what am I going to do when I'm drinking beer? Oh, I'm going to make some podcasts. What happens when you make a good podcast? You make money.
All right.
Hey. Oh, hey. So,
question.
Yeah.
How come we haven't made money so far?
It's real estate. Because real estate is real estate market. Because we were just, you're hanging out in your house. I'm hanging out in my house. Yeah. I'm getting kicked out of my house. You get kicked out of your house. We have no choice. We have to go make it work. There you go. So that's the good news.
Sounds good. We'll make it happen. I think that's cool. We'll be a nomad for beer. Right? Go check out the world situation of beer and see where it takes us. That's a part of life. Let's see where it takes us. Where does life take you? To the pub.
I think, you know what I'm going to do? Because I have in May, I'm back in Puerto Vallarta for a destination wedding.
Yeah.
Then after May, the place will be ready like end of the year. So I wonder, once I'm down there, in between.
Ken?
Yeah, no, because like I've got to come back after May because I've got some business things going on here. But I wonder, I think I can squeeze like a 3-month fuck off period in there.
Wow, 3 months. That's a long time.
As long as I can make enough money to live. So I'm going to have to pickpocket at the train station or something, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I can take a bit of time off here and there. I'm sure I have a bit of fluidity. So, but we'll see. We got to check it out. I mean, just like we did run down to Puerto Vallarta just a few weeks ago. It was fun. It didn't take long. We were only there a week. It'd be nice if we could stay a bit, maybe 2 weeks, but
or maybe just even Italy, or look what your schedule is. Maybe I'll pop over and we'll do some Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, because Myanmar's gone fucking nuts again. So that should be wartime reporting almost.
I haven't been to Myanmar in a long, long time. It's been too crazy and not enough opportunity. So, but Cambodia's always great. And there's Thailand. Thailand's great.
Maybe we do the Mekong River cruise, but just like do the Mekong River taxis from like town to town. Just get off the next town. There's got to be a beer there somewhere.
Yeah. Sounds good.
We'll talk more about that.
Something. I do something also in Papua New Guinea. Now that's a bit on the danger zone, but we have some stuff there. I have my friend there. Darren's going to join us. We'll have a good time. He's interested to be a official beer hunter as well. Remember Darren Collett, my good friend, good old Darren.
Is it Big Darren?
Big Darren.
No.
Yeah.
Big Darren.
Big old Darren.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He did shrink a little bit, but he's quite.
I
as
mean,
big
in the
as
nicest possible way. I mean,
yeah,
big personality.
He's
too.
big old
Just,
rugby guy. Big old
yeah.
rugby. No, he's good, and he'll be joining me, and we'll be doing stuff. And he's very interested.
When are you going down for that?
Probably summertime, June, July, August, something like that. Just for again, probably a few weeks at a time, 2-3 weeks. So we have something going on, brewing, and it should be fun. Yeah, brewing, yeah. Home brew,
or the South Africa. So many. We got to get on it. So many places we're supposed
South
to get
Africa.
to.
Yeah, South Africa. We have a guy that's a brewmaster down there, and he's on the what do you call it? The
Kruger?
range,
Edge of Kruger.
Not Kruger, but one of those wildlife parks. He's on, and it has a whole brewery right there. It's like amazing. Okay. We have another friend that wants to join, so we just have to coordinate it, get this thing off the ground, and kind of really put it together, and we'll be off and running and drinking.
Okay, I'm gonna go off and run right now and drink right now because my beer's empty.
Sounds good.
My store's empty. My stomach's empty. I go back and enjoy my great big house for a little while. And
well, I think we'll call it the end of the program today, and we'll see you. I think we need some music to head off. We've got the button.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a music store. Chinese music. I don't know, something. What do you got?
Mm-hmm.
And there it is. Took a while.
Ayula.
Hey,
all right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I hope we taught you or clarified a bit about real estate. It was fun to talk about. More details coming up on Puerto Vallarta. Some of the footage we took, some of the back alleys, the shit we did, what we found. There's all kinds of little snippets coming along.
So 2 things. Check us out. Subscribe on Wise Little Bastards. Check out Beer Hunters International on YouTube. And also check out the store. Just click on the store. Check it out. We have a store.
2+ things.
2+. Close enough.
There you go. All right. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
Adios.
See you all next time.
Wong Si Fa Chai.
Wong Si Fa Chai.